So what we're going to be talking about is the importance of delegation. And there's this one quote I like. I can't remember of the young lady who said it, but it says, the lack of delegation is a limit to your leadership that affects both you and those you lead. See, someone who doesn't know how to delegate effectively, and delegation is not just abdication where you get someone else to do it and then like you're not doing anything and you don't check up on what they're doing. People who don't know how to delegate will either delegate just so they don't have to do it, or they will talk about how much they have to do it, so it slows them down, and it's a reason why they don't get done what needs to get done. And we all know there's different seasons if you have transitions in your team, or certain seasons that are a little bit more challenging than others. But for some, it's always a season. All right. So one of the main reasons I've seen even within our team why delegation is not a priority is because development's not a priority. And we're going to get more deeper into that. But this list here, some of it comes from Kerry Newhoff. It talks about some of his highlights of years of experience of why people don't delegate. So if you're taking notes, these are the reasons why people don't delegate. Number one is you don't make your team a priority. It says this, this is from, I believe the name is Ginny Catron. It says, if you are not spending intentional time with your team weekly, you are missing an enormous opportunity to train, develop, and delegate and coach. So his bottom line is your team's not a priority. You're task focused, not team focused. This is one of the main reasons why I decided to turn staff meetings primarily into equipping. Because before, staff meetings were primarily just directive and task focused. All right, I know there are meetings that those things need to happen, but I'm trying to equip and coach to model some of these things. We're covering a book on prayer, we cover a book on delegation or equipping. It's because I'm trying to invest in you. The issue is what happens from your perspective to your team. All right, and number one reason why you don't delegate is you don't value development. If you are not prioritizing development, it is a foolhardy to expect your team to learn and grow. So you have to find a regular way where you're developing your people. And that's both in spiritually as well as practically. And I know some of you, it's a little bit harder in some areas than others, depending like with at least with worship. You guys have a Thursday that's already in the rhythm of meeting, and now I don't know how that leads itself to team development or not. There's some things I'm sure that would work well there, and other things maybe not. But the bottom line is if we're not delegating, we really don't value development. And this is fundamental to delegation. Number three is you don't trust your team to take responsibility. Again, delegation is not abdication. Jenny again had a really good quote. It says, if you are not adequately empowering your team by providing feedback and direction, it is unfair to expect them to take greater responsibility. So one is you've got to give some level of direction, even if it's like, look, honestly, this is not my area. I need you to go out, research this, and give me some ideas. That's direction. All right, and you've got to give feedback. Okay, that's going to work and that's not going to work. And here's why. So then it can help hone what. So when they go and look, they can help hone what they're looking for. Number four, you don't delegate because you don't want to look bad. It says this one requires a bit of a healthy self-awareness to honestly answer the question, are you afraid of a little bit of failure will make you look bad? Mistakes are part of learning and growing. In order to empower your team, you must give them room to try and sometimes fail. It says this, if you are worried more about your image than helping someone grow, then it's time to reevaluate your leadership priorities. This actually is a really good example of one year when we decided we do an event called Trunk or Treat. I know a lot of people do these things. Ours tend to be actually pretty effective, and we get a really good turnout, and it's been effective in people being a bridge to people coming to church. One year we had a young lady volunteer to help lead that. And so we went through a lot of different stuff, but part of that was empowering because I've always been fairly involved in those things. We've always had team leaders at different seasons. We have different people lead different things. But I kind of knew that there was going to be some hiccups. At the same time, I was trying to empower because I can't do that forever. Like, that's not something like I have to get that stuff off my plate. So we gave some tips. We talked about it and stuff like that. Obviously, during the event, there are some things that went really well, and some of the things that needed to be adjusted. Part of that is just experience. Part of that is problem solving in the moment. But what was cool is that the event went well. We survived it. We had a great turnout, and a lot was learned. So in the following year, that person has a much better experience to work off of, so to be more successful going forward, as long as they agree to do it again. So it's important. Now, again, there are certain things that can't afford. Like, you can't decide to delegate somebody you've never, they're not ready to lead worship and they bomb badly. Like, you got to do some things well. Like, there was some level of safety net for that event that we did because we had some history of experience. That individual had been a part of some of our events in the past. We had a lot of documents to help with a lot of those things. It was in the finer details where things kind of got stretched a little bit. So again, you've got to weigh out the weight of that responsibility, what you're asking them to do.